At the Orlando Law Group, we advise companies on a broad range of business matters, from the formation of an entity to contractual matters to mergers and acquisitions. We actively lead transactions and remain engaged with our clients. Call the Orlando Law Group today and let us provide pragmatic solutions that help launch, grow, and maintain a successful business for you. I'm Jennifer Englert, and I founded the Orlando Law Group so people can get legal services from attorneys who care. At the Orlando Law Group, it's more than just a case.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Testimonial Tuesday here at the wonderful and beautiful Marlowe's Tavern in Lee Vista. I'm so glad that you can come back and join us for our third wonderful interview. But before we get started, I would like to thank our wonderful sponsor, the Orlando Law Group. They are a full-service legal solutions, a business law expertise, personal injury guidance, estate planning and family law, accessible client-focused legal help, and serving individuals, families, and businesses. So if you need accessible client-focused legal help, you need to call the Orlando Law Group. What sets the Orlando Law Group apart is their client-first approach. They take the time to listen, answer questions, and provide clear, practical guidance tailored to each individual situation so clients feel confident and supported at every step. So give Jennifer and the Orlando Law Group a call today for some advice. So let's talk about some of the events that are coming up. We have an incredible event coming up. It's actually coming up January 22nd, so it's right around the corner. This is going to be the first ever Veteran Initiative Coffee and Camaraderie event. This is excellent. It's the first Veteran Initiative event of the year. Come along to learn more about this incredible resource, whether you are a veteran-owned business or a veteran-friendly business. This event is for you. So if you're looking to get involved in other ways, join a chamber committee or council to make an impact, build connections, and position your business as a trusted community resource. Apply or join today. So that being said, let's get right back into these wonderful, fabulous interviews. And we have an incredible group here right now. I have two gentlemen sitting to the right of me, and you're going to want to learn all about them and what they do, because what they do is pretty incredible. So to my right, James, I hope I say this name correctly, Burse, James Burse to my right, who is your operations officer. And then to my other right is John Green, the CEO, co-founder of Operation Barnabas. So welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for allowing us to learn all about you, what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. And so I got a lot of questions to ask you, and I want to hear some great answers. So we're going to play like a game show, just like I did last time. I'm going to ask the question. Whoever buzzes in first answers no. I'm kidding. I'm going to go back and forth and allow each of you to answer a question. So John, I'm going to start with you first. Can you start by telling us a little bit about Operation Barnabas, specifically its mission and why it was founded?
Awesome. So we started in 2017. My best friend and I, OC Trey Fagan, he was a Special Forces MARSOC Marine. And after serving 3 combat tours and 17 years, he just came back broken in every way possible, spiritually, physically, mentally. And he just spiraled and actually went AWOL on a Monday and was going to throw his entire career and life away, and his marriage was in shambles. And thankfully, on Tuesday, 3 of his Marine friends showed up and said, "We love you too much to let you do this." And they took him to a hospital, got him some help. That led to a very long story that we don't have time for here today, but led him to me, and my wife and I were at a local church, and that's where we met. And we just decided that we wanted to mentor a couple that was coming through, and had no idea that this crazy Marine was going to show up. And so we met through some crazy circumstances, and for about a year, we joked that he's about 8 years younger than me. So the joke was that he would train me to be a MARSOC Marine, and I would train him to be a MARSOC Christian. And so we would do these crazy workouts where, I mean, I don't know how I'm sitting here today. I don't know how I survived and lived. But then we'd get on the back porch and we'd study together, and then our family started doing life together. And that was the catalyst for why we're here today and what we're doing with Operation Barnabas, was the one-to-one, the personal, in the mud, doing life together. Because it was messy. I mean, they were broken, and they had a lot of healing and trauma to deal with, and PTSD, and he had a TBI, and so it was not easy. And but that is where we decided veterans are worth it. They're worth the time. They're worth the investment. They're worth whatever it takes. And if we can find more mentors, then we really wanted to just, like I said, make a huge difference. That's what launched Operation Barnabas.
That's incredible. Tell us a little bit about it. Give me a little meat and potatoes of what Operation Barnabas is, and why we should listen.
So the bread and butter, like I said, is the one-to-one mentorship. So when a veteran comes into our program, whether they're incarcerated and they're getting out, in fact, today, as we speak right now, I just got a text. And
really?
One of our veterans who was just released from a jail up in the northern part of the state.
Oh, my God.
And he is now in a motel. He's got a roof over his head. He's got food coming, and he's got a mentor. Can't help him right this second, but by the time we get on this phone call, I'll be able to get him a mentor, get him a sign, and we start putting the pieces of his life back together piece by piece.
That's what I was looking for.
So that's what we do, is whether they're homeless, whether they're incarcerated, whether they're having suicidal ideations. There's 45,000 veteran organizations in the United States, but what makes us unique is that one human is coming to help that other one human, and they're gonna. It's like triage in an emergency. All right, you've done this. This is the trauma. This is the struggles. This is where we go back to childhood, whatever it takes.
Wow.
And we're going to help put those pieces of your life back together. So people say, how do you do it? I don't know, because this guy's brand new to us. So I don't know what hole he's dug in his life. I don't know what kind of addictions he has. I don't know. So until we find out all those pieces of the puzzle, we can't really do anything. So once we do, though, we jump in, and that's what we do. And we do the mission. We take guys fishing. We do outdoors ministry. We do all the normal stuff, cars, get them cars, donated jobs, employment things and all that. But we do it with the lens of this human figuring this out together.
That's incredible. I love that.
It's just more personal, and it's more. We feel like it's more impactful because you're not just a cog in a giant organization or a bureaucratic kind of thing. It's literally just you and me going, all right, Chris, like, dude, you tried this, you tried the drugs, you tried this, you tried that. You want to try something different? And then let's go this direction. And we just,
and this is how we move in that direction.
And it's you and me. I'm not a caseworker. Our mentors are not certified in anything but caring. So that's what we do.
I love that. That hit hard. All right, James, I want to hit you with one. You ready? What brought you to the Operation Barnabas?
I needed guidance. I wanted to leave a legacy. I feel like one thing that every service member have in common is the fact that they want to serve and they're selfless. And I really think sometimes in life, when we forget our purpose, we tend to get lost. And I was out there lost. I needed some guidance. I needed everything that a good man was trying to offer. There's a lot of bad men out there that teach you different things. And these guys, it was Hurricane Ian. At the time, I had met a guy, and he was like, "You need help?" And he asked me, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No." And introduced me to John, those guys, and they was currently the next day going to Hurricane Ian to do hurricane cleanup. And they looked at me, and they was like, "You need to be with us." Spent 30 days, turned into 4 months, and then the next thing you know, I come back, teach me how to be a better husband, teach me how to, make what's important is important. And our first ministry is our family ministry, and that's at your home. And it allowed me to get to where I'm in school, psychology degree / military resilience. And then, as I started getting purpose, things started opening up. And then I'm here in Orlando. So I got out, and I just needed help, needed guidance, needed somewhere. I didn't know where to start. I had no idea where to start.
John was there.
John was there, open arms. It was like, "Come on, we're going down here." And I was like, "Okay." And then my wife was like, you just met these people. I'm like, military was the worst guy, you know.
I've been through worse.
Been through worse. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But it was refreshing to find somebody like him.
It was refreshing and had me wanting, you know, had me wondering, where is this? For most of my friends, most of our guys that get out, you know, it's a big question mark on where you even start. And a lot of these guys that's in Barnabas have been through the struggle, been through the pain. They're successful now, so they kind of got the guidelines on what you need to get back on your feet.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to go off script here because
I
want to brag on James. Because
James like, no.
We talk a lot about being a force multiplier, and once the guys get healthy, it's not, hey, pat yourself on the back, great, you're doing great. It's now help the next man up. And what impressed us about James is you know, you meet thousands and thousands of people in your life, obviously. I'm just going to brag on him. There's not many guys that have as pure a heart as this guy does. I mean, I want to, like, he talks about us mentoring him, things like that. The cool part about it is usually the candle's burning on both ends. This is one of the most selfless guys I know, and I want to be more like him because he just helps, man. And so we knew we needed to get, once he got healthy, we knew once he had his oxygen mask on, we knew he needed to get back in the game, get in the fight, and that's what he's done. He's just an incredible man.
That's awesome. I love that you want to brag on you. All right, John, I'm going to ask you this question. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go. This is directed to James, so I'm going to have to go back to James. As operations officer, how do you define the role of operations within the border mission of Operation Barnabas?
So how I define my roles, like you said, I'm a force multiplier. So when I get that phone call, I answer the phone 24/7. So when I get that phone, I immediately have to go on the triage and determine what's the best course of action to be able to help the person out. I'll give you an example. Last night, we had a wife call us, had a situation where the husband scared to go home. And this is, you know, my meetings start I do meetings at the Sand Lake location at Discovery Church every Monday. Okay. And she was in the Dillard's parking lot until about 4 p.m. until like 8, 9 o'clock at night. So immediately I grabbed my other guys. I grabbed Anthony and his wife. We go over there and we begin to, you know, be there for her, encourage her. And then, you know, because she had to go to work the next day. She's a doctor. She has a full life. We can't let this thing, you know, if one is going down, we can't let him drag the whole family down with the ship. Because if you don't get better, how can you expect to try to save him? So we got her in a hotel last night. She's at work right now. So that's pretty much how quick I'm going to act on getting a phone call immediately right there. Yes, sir.
That's okay. You didn't even pause. It just was jumped right in and got it done.
Yes, and that is the most challenging part of his job as the operations guy is he does have the Barnabas phone, the Barnabas line. We just launched in 2026 a female specific. We have a young lady, Colonel Vanessa Williams, that's joining our team. She's going to be him for the females because it's just getting overwhelming the amount of phone calls that we're getting now that we've expanded out of the Jacksonville area into the Orlando area. Now getting into Tampa and their jail system down there, it's overwhelming. And so what he has to do when you hear these stories that are so heartbreaking, and you know we don't have unlimited resources and unlimited things, so it's again triage. Okay, we may not have the money or the whatever it is, but maybe we can just be there, like you said, and be in the parking lot and just say, hey, please, you're not alone. Sometimes
that words speak more than money. Sometimes words speak more than money. I have to say that. Okay, John. Wait, hold on. Yeah, actually, here we go. This one's for you. We'll give you this one. Can you share a success story, maybe an individual or situation? I mean, we did just talk about James, but maybe we could talk about another person, an individual or situation that illustrates how Operation Barnabas has helped someone regain stability and purpose. I mean, obviously they're sitting right here, but do you have another example?
Yeah. I got two actually. I'm gonna do two real quick. I'll combine two. But so one from the jail. We had a young man named Quentin who was arrested from Duval County in Jacksonville. And he went in, and when you get arrested there now, there's a dedicated veteran pod that is just Operation Barnabas. So you get the options. It's voluntary, but instead of going to general population, you go to the Operation Barnabas veteran pod. Okay. And so I guess the word had gotten out that, hey, this veteran pod's going on. And so, he checked the box veteran, and then they said, you want to go to veteran pod? And so in his mind, he said, I thought, yeah, I don't have to go to general population. maybe the food's a little better, maybe the conditions are a little better. You know, he goes, but I had no intention of listening to anything you guys had to say. I just wanted a little bit better situation. So he joins the class. We have two guys, Coop and Julius, and I hope they're listening out there today. If Coop and Julius are listening, do incredible work. And so as he's getting to know Coop and Julius through this we call Houses of Healing curriculum that we utilize, the defenses are coming down. And he's building a relationship because, again, it's one-to-one. It's personal. Like, these guys are in the jail every day with these guys. And so he just connected and bonded with these two guys. And so by the end of the class, as we call them each classes, he graduated. And he came back to the next class as the guest speaker, as the keynote speaker.
Get out.
And it was so awesome because this was last August. And I'll never forget, he comes in, and so now he's a free man. And he comes in, and that particular day, he's a 2-year-old little boy, and it was blazing hot that day. And he gave them the rah-rah speech, and, you know, the typical keynote speech, you know. But then he looked at him and he said, listen, I was in with some of you guys. You know, some of you guys were in jail with me. And he goes, but here's the reality. I'm just going to be real because I love you. I'm leaving out that door a free man. And I'm going to go to the pool today, and I'm going to be a daddy to my son today. You guys are locked up here. You need to listen to these guys. You need to listen to what they're telling you. Like, he went from being like, I don't want nothing, I'm not going to listen, I'm just getting back, to he's now literally saying, you better listen to these guys because it's life changing.
He's a pioneer.
Oh, and he spoke at our last fundraiser and just shared about the impact of his mentor, Javon, and it was just incredible. So that's one, and now he's working. He got a job at the NASJAX base there, and which is incredible, especially for somebody that has a record. So, man, just literally putting his life back together. He's a father, and he's working on the marriage, trying to get the marriage repaired and all the things. Second one, this one was pretty cool because it was tied to our outdoors ministry. We call it Hooks of Hope and Spirit, two different ones. One's in Steens Ferry, North Carolina. One's down in Sebastian, Florida. Take the guys out fishing. I was telling them, like, hey, it's great. Take them fishing. They have this mountaintop moment. They catch big fish. Awesome. What happens on Monday morning? They're back in the fight again. Right, they're back in the broken marriage. They're back in the addictions. They're back fighting their demons. So that's what's different about Barnabas is we don't just take them fishing. We take them fishing, but then we follow up and we have them, you know, they're assigned a mentor. Like, let's go. And so this particular gentleman, and one of the things we hit him with, this is so incredible. We have 5, they don't know this, but we have 5. We try to get 5 people to write letters of encouragement, letters of blessing as we call it. But they don't know it's coming. So they've gone, so Friday night they come in, have a big dinner. Saturday, take them out fishing. Sunday, we're sitting around campfire, sitting there, and then we hit him with these letters. And this particular gentleman gets his letter. He has no idea it's coming. And he opens it up, and he literally says the first word is daddy. And he starts bawling, crying. I mean, snot coming out, tears going everywhere. It's like that kind of crying. And we're all sitting there kind of uncomfortable, like, you know, what's going on here? Finally, when he composed himself, he told us a story. He said, I haven't spoken to my daughter in decades. Like, it's been years, like 10, 20 years. And he's like, daddy. And so then he reads the rest of the letter. And basically what happened was, kind of summarizing the story here, but basically he had come back from a combat tour and he was just, again, broken physically, spiritually, mentally, all things. And she spilled some stuff on the bed. And I guess he just raged. And she was like, and I think it was to the point that she actually wet herself. And it just caused this fraction, you know, from that point on. And when she turned 18, she's gone. You know, nothing to do with it. And now he's getting this letter, Daddy. And then the rest of the letter said, Daddy, I just want you to know that I've gotten saved and I follow Jesus now, and he forgave me. So I just want you to know I forgive you. I know that wasn't really you. I know that wasn't. It was the broken you. It wasn't really you. And I just want you to know I love you. I forgive you. And I mean, it's just like tears, like everybody's crying. We're sitting there going like, wow. And you know, you literally just watch this relationship be restored, just like, wow. And so those are 2 that are my favorites lately. There's more. I can sit here all day long and tell you hundreds more.
I love that you have hundreds. That means you're out there helping people. That's incredible.
Yeah, I can tell you all day.
Oh, I love it. I don't want to ask any more questions, huh? That was, I mean, Katrina's crying behind the camera.
It was. I've told the story 100 times, and it doesn't get any less emotional because I'm a dad. So anybody out there that's a dad or a parent, too. You know, you're sitting there going, wow, thinking about your little girl, your baby, man. That's incredible.
Wow, that is incredible. Okay, I'm going back to James here. All right, James, you ready?
Yes, sir.
What are some of the key programs or services that Operation Barnabas provides that you're most proud of? Don't worry about what John said. What you're proud of.
Let's see. I think to me the biggest one is the community factor. I don't know how many times I can tell you that the one common denominator for us is we go into the military and we train as a group to be a very successful force. But for some reason when we get out the military, there's a disconnect with us going into the box by ourselves. And that's nothing we've been trained to do it as a group, and now all of a sudden we're in a box. And that community part is, I feel like, to me, that's how I've gotten to 90% of veterans. You know, I get veterans, the first thing they say to me, I'm not a Christian. Oh, I didn't ask you that. I want to talk to you, be your friend. And then you see the ice belt. So it's you know, I'm not beating you over the head with the Bible. I get to one-on-one commune with you. I get to, you know, show you some love. And a lot of guys don't have another guy to just show them love. And, you know, that's all I want to do, show you some love. You know, I don't think I do this, but subconsciously, I've lost a lot of friends. And, you know, once you meet a broken person and they get back better, they become a friend. And I'm not saying I get to forget about my friends, but it begins to kind of fill that void in my heart that I'm beginning to make more friends and more family. And, you know, sometimes family isn't blood, but it's what you make it. And, you know, making a family, making traditions that we have, meeting up, you know, I used to always love just going straight to Waycross, Georgia, where I'm from. But I got to stop in Jacksonville. I got a whole other set of family that I got to see. You know, they'll be pretty mad if I don't stop by. So, yes, sir. The community part to me is one of the most important things about it, because once you get in the community, you can kind of solve a lot of the issues. You can kind of see, you kind of feel, you know, you can pinpoint like, hey, you ain't doing good. I know, I can see it. You don't have to lie to me over the phone. You know, you can kind of just get a more in-depth reaction of what's going on.
That's awesome. Community.
Community.
I love that. I'm going to just pause for 1 second so that we can thank our wonderful sponsor, the Orlando Law Group. They are full-service legal solutions, business law expertise, personal injury guidance. They have estate planning and family law. They're accessible. They're client-focused with legal help, servicing individuals, families, and businesses. From individuals and families to small businesses and entrepreneurs, the Orlando Law Group serves the entire Central Florida community. No matter the legal challenge, their experienced attorneys provide solutions with professionalism, care, and a commitment to results. And again, I want to mention this wonderful event that's coming up, because this goes right along the lines of what we're discussing here with these two fine gentlemen. Is Veteran Initiative Coffee and Camaraderie event on January 22nd. That is going to be a tremendous event. Go online to EOCC.org, get all the information there. Come join us for the first Coffee and Camaraderie event, which is going to be on January 22nd. Okay, so now getting back to you guys, we did all my legal stuff that I'm, you know, contracted to do. Mark's over there making sure that I do everything I'm supposed to do. All right. Membership is a core component of your work. What goes into matching a mentor with a veteran or first responder, and why is that relationship so critical? John, I'm going to hit you with that one.
Yeah, so that's the tricky part, because like I said, it's you're dealing with somebody who's broken, somebody who's coming out of a crisis or is in a crisis, and so trying to match up a mentor and a mentee. I'd like to say it's this scientific thing. You just know this, you know this, you know this. A lot of times, like I said, it's just our mentors are people who care. So their job is not to come in and bully or be a bad cop or any of those kind of things. It's just to say, listen, man, I'm here to just listen. I'm here to listen and actually, just ask questions, more questions, and we listen. And so trying to, again, just get them to connect at that level, I think is not as, I guess the personalities aren't as big of a deal, because we're not getting into personalities. We're not getting into your feelings, man. It's not about your feelings. It's not about my feelings. It's about how do we help you put your life back together. So we don't really have we've never had a lot of disconnect between our mentors and mentees, because
that's great.
The mentees are usually very, appreciative that, man, this person's,
somebody cares.
They're not getting paid.
I was just about to say,
they're not just volunteers. And so, you can get mad at your mentor all you want, but they don't have a dog in the fight, man. They're just here to help you, and that's what they're doing. So we literally just, most of the time we just, we'll look at some personality traits and things like that. Mm-hmm. We had a mentor one time that was very, he was a high-ranking officer, so he was very, this,
methodical.
That kind of stuff. And some people respond to that,
right?
Some people don't. So we had to be a little careful about that one. But for the most part, like I said, our mentors are just caring people, so it's not hard.
That's awesome. Okay, we have time for maybe one or two questions. because we're under the 5-minute mark here. So I'm gonna jump down the questions here. Here's a good one. James, I'm gonna ask you to answer this one. What metrics or measures does Operation Barnabas use to understand and communicate its impact?
What metrics and measures? How do we get our impact out there?
Correct.
Testimonies, social media. You know, you can make 1,000 commercials, right? You can make 1,000 commercials. You can do all this stuff, but I feel like when you see us, we're going to show you work. When you donate to us, we're going to show you what we use it for. There's not a time that you're going to see us not out there working. We're working almost, right before Christmas. You ordered the dude some food for his family, and then on my way to Georgia, I stopped by and dropped off some food also. And that's just what we do. We feel like word of mouth is a little bit better than just, social media stuff, but that's the new age, and we're trying to get in that market and figure out how to get us out there more, but, something's happening. And for some reason, doors are just beginning to just fly open. Sometimes, we got a check in Alabama from some random mortgage company, and they was like, hey, come pick up this check. And we're like, who are you? And we still don't know today how we got it, but that's just what's beginning to happen. So we're just trusting in the Lord that, just lead our path, and we're just going with the flow, honestly. But yeah, social media, but a lot of word of mouth and just action.
We've grown to the point where we did launch in 2026 and just launched a new CRM, so we will be tracking that data for the rest of our time as a ministry. So we'll be able to tell you, we're getting ready to give away a car this week, so we'll be able to track all that. Recidivism, we're going to try to track that. That's a hard stat to track, but are they returning back to jail? We want them to be 0%. So we're going to be tracking that data. So we do have a new CRM system now, and a lady that's going to be helping us with that data, James and I, so we'll be inputting that, so we'll be able to spit out those numbers a lot better.
Well, I wish you guys were around when my dad was around. He was an Army vet. He did Vietnam, and he saw some things that definitely damaged him and damaged the way he lived. So I wish he would have had somebody like you guys around to help him out, because I think things would have been different for him than how things turned out. So we're going to end, but before we end, I want to ask you, finally, what's one message you'd hope listeners take away about Operation Barnabas and the importance of supporting veterans and first responders?
That one's easy. I'm going to use his words. Get in the game, get in the fight.
That.
Get in the game, get in the fight. These men and women serve us so that we can put our heads on the pillow every night, safe, knowing that we live in a country where we're free, and we need to support, even if you're a patriot, the 90%ers I call us, we need to be supporting the 10%ers because they're that important. So get in the game, get in the fight. Go to operationbarnabas.com, become a monthly donor, help us out there, donate a car. We need vehicles. Orlando and Jacksonville, those two cities in particular, don't have reliable public transportation. No offense to our city leaders. So got to have some cars to be able to get around and be able to get the jobs and get those things, stuff like that. So get in the game, get in the fight.
Excellent. Well, thank you both for being here. Thank you for sharing your mission and what you guys are doing, because I didn't know everything you guys did, and now that I've heard, this is incredible, and I'm so thankful that you're out there and that you're helping these veterans get through the tough times and making them whole again, as I'm going to say. So I love it. So get in the game, get in the fight. I love that term. James, way to go with that term.
Man, shout out to the East Orlando Commerce for having us be a part of the team. Love you guys. Thank you.
So today we're going to have Great Adventure Lunch here at the wonderful Marlowe's Tavern. Come on down. You can meet James, excuse me, and you can meet John. It's going to be at 12:30 p.m. today at 6889 Eagle Watch Drive, Orlando. Come out and try the wonderful food that you're gonna have here at Marlowe's Tavern, and also get to experience the actual ambiance of this restaurant. It is incredible. Katrina will be here. You can come say hello to her. Mark will be here. You can come say hello to him. Well, maybe not Mark. Come say hi to Katrina. But we really want you to come on down, network with people, and learn about people, learn about Barnabas, learn about Marlowe's, learn about everything that there is that this people in this chamber have to offer. And we'll see you today at 12:30. Thanks a lot. And gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Have a great day, everybody.